Hey everyone! Today I want to walk through GPT-5.5, not from a hype perspective, but from a systems and capability standpoint. Because what's happening here is less about incremental scaling and more about a shift in how models operate across long-horizon tasks. Let's start with the core idea. GPT-5.5 is optimized for agentic execution under uncertainty. That means instead of treating generation as a stateless mapping from input-output, the model is trained and evaluated on its ability to maintain context across multiple steps, decompose ambiguous objectives, select and sequence tool usage, verify intermediate results, and adapt based on feedback loops. This is a fundamentally different optimization target compared to earlier models. Historically, language models were evaluated on static benchmarks, accuracy on predefined tasks. But GPT-5.5 is heavily tuned for process quality, not just output quality. And you can see that in benchmarks like Terminal-Bench and SWE-Bench. For example, Terminal-Bench requires executing multi-step command line workflows where the environment changes over time, actions have side effects, and planning errors compound. GPT-5.5 achieves state-of-the-art performance here, which suggests improvements in sequential decision-making, error recovery, and tool-grounded reasoning. Now, let's talk about what's actually improved under the hood. While exact architecture details aren't public, the behavior strongly implies advances in three areas. 1. Long-context reasoning and state tracking. The model shows significantly better performance when maintaining coherence across large contexts, up to hundreds of thousands or even million token ranges. But more importantly, it doesn't just remember context, it uses it structurally. For example, tracking dependencies across a code base, understanding which components are affected by a change, maintaining consistent assumptions across iterations. This suggests improvements in internal attention allocation and memory compression strategies. 2. Tool-integrated cognition. Earlier models could call tools. GPT's 5.5 plans around tools. That's a big difference. Instead of, here's a tool call because you asked for it, it does decide whether a tool is needed, determine when to call it, interpret outputs, and integrate results into the next reasoning step. This creates a closed-loop system. Reason, act, observe, refine, which is essentially a lightweight form of model-based planning. 3. Self-verification and iterative refinement. One of the biggest qualitative improvements is the model's ability to check its own work. Not just superficially, but structurally. For example, validating assumptions before executing code, anticipating edge cases, running implicit tests in reasoning space. This reduces the need for external correction loops. And in practice, it leads to fewer retries and higher first-pass success rates. Now let's connect this to real-world coding. In SWE-Bench-style tasks, the model isn't just generating code, it's reading existing code bases, understanding implicit design patterns, identifying root causes of bugs, and implementing fixes that align with system constraints. This is closer to software engineering cognition than code generation. And importantly, it maintains consistency across the entire system, not just local patches. There's a strong signal here that GPT-5.5 has improved global reasoning over structured environments, which is one of the hardest problems in applied AI. Now let's shift to knowledge work, because this is where the model becomes more interesting beyond coding. Traditional LLM usage in knowledge work looks like summarization, Q&A, content generation. But GPT's 5.5 operates across the full pipeline. Information retrieval, relevance, filtering, synthesis, transformation into structured outputs. And critically, it maintains task intent throughout that pipeline. This is reflected in benchmarks like GPT-5.5, where performance is measured across real occupational tasks. The model's high score indicates that it's not just answering questions, it's completing workflows. Another important dimension is efficiency. The model achieves higher performance with fewer tokens. This suggests improvements in internal reasoning compression, reduced redundancy in generation, better planning before output. In other words, it's not just thinking more, it's thinking better per token. Now, let's talk about scientific reasoning. This is where the model's capabilities start to approach research assistance. Scientific tasks require handling noisy or incomplete data, identifying confounders, applying appropriate statistical methods, interpreting results in context. GPT-5.5 shows strong improvements in benchmarks like SWE-Bench and BazAI. These are not simple QA tasks, they simulate multi-stage research workflows. What's notable is persistence. The model doesn't just produce a single answer, it iterates. Proposes hypotheses, tests them, conceptually adjusts based on inconsistencies. This aligns with how human researchers operate. There's even an example of contributing to a mathematical proof in combinatorics. Now, whether you view that as true reasoning or advanced pattern synthesis is debatable. But the key point is, the model can operate in domains that require multi-step abstract reasoning without explicit supervision. Let's zoom out. What does all of this mean? We're moving from LLMs as generators to LLMs as autonomous problem solvers. The critical shift is from single-step inference to multi-step execution with internal feedback loops. And this has implications for system design. Instead of building pipelines around the model, you can start building systems where the model is the pipeline. This simplifies architecture but increases reliance on model reliability. Which is why improvements in self-checking, tool grounding, and error recovery are so important. Now, one more thing: safety. As capabilities increase, especially in areas like cybersecurity and scientific reasoning, the risk surface expands. GPT-5.5 introduces stronger safeguards, including better classification of risky requests, monitoring for misuse patterns, controlled access for high-risk capabilities. This is essential because agentic models don't just answer, they act. And action introduces consequences. So to summarize, GPT-5.5 represents a shift in three key dimensions. From static responses, dynamic execution; from local reasoning, global system understanding; from assistance, partial autonomy. And if you're building AI systems, this changes how you think about architecture. You don't just design prompts anymore. You design objectives. Because the model can now figure out the path. Alright, that's it for this deep dive. If you want, I can next break this into research-style blog architecture diagrams or a full agent system implementation. Just tell me what direction you want to go.